This is another movie Lingo discussion. I'm Eddie Lingo.
I'm Cody Flutie.
I'm Alyssa Jansen.
And today we'll be talking about The Visit. Cody, could you please give us the synopsis on that movie?
First of all, go ahead and say, just spoiler alert, this is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. As everyone knows, the M. Night Shyamalan movies do have a twist. We will be talking about this movie, and we will be talking about the twist. So for those of you who don't want to be entirely ruined by this movie, you're going to want to stop this right now.
Yes.
Shut it off, come back and watch it when you're done.
Come back later.
All right, so The Visit is essentially a movie about these two kids, and they go to visit their grandparents who they've never met because, according to their mom, their grandparents had a falling out with the mother. I just ended that sentence as if it was done, but I was like in the middle of it. So these two kids, they get on a train and they on their own, and they go to meet up with these grandparents, and they meet their grandparents, and they're staying there. And it's like 5 nights basically. It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then they leave Saturday. Basically, Monday night, everything's all right. They hear some noises at night. They're like, okay. Tuesday night, things start getting a little weird. They're starting to learn that their grandparents are very strange. The grandfather sometimes shits his pants, and he's wearing a diaper, and he keeps them all in a shed.
The worst smelling shed.
Yeah, I don't know why. The grandmother walks around at night and profusely vomits and is scratching at walls while naked. And then the third night, more stuff happens, and basically each night progresses a little bit further and a little bit creepier until finally on Friday, the day before they're supposed to leave, they are finally Skyping with their mom who's on a cruise, and they show her and they're like, there's something wrong with grandma and grandpa, and the daughter and son hold up the laptop towards these people who are outside, and the mother just goes, wait, those aren't your grandparents. Who are those people? And then everything just kind of like falls apart at that moment. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. It's basically about their week with their grandparents' killers.
Pretty much. So this movie, it surprised me. Before we get into, well, actually, let's first ask, Cody, how did you feel about the movie?
When I left the theater, I was like, eh. Like the twist was awesome. I actually didn't see that coming. Therefore, I was really happy with it because, as we've talked about before, if I predict things in movies, I get a little upset.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that creative, so you guys should be better at this than me. So I didn't see that coming when she was like, well, those aren't your grandparents. Like, that wasn't even a single thought on my mind.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, fuck. Like, it's going to get so real. When I left the movie, I was like, I was happy with the twist, but I was still like, eh. And then I started having conversations with people, and some of their points I'm going to bring up later on. And I actually enjoyed this movie. Not a perfect 10 out of 10 for me, but right. I did like watching this movie.
Yeah, I get you on that one. How about you, Alyssa? How'd you feel about it?
I hate scary movies. They're the worst because I get scared so easily. But this one, I think, because it wasn't like a supernatural movie and they were just kind of like insane, it didn't scare me as much, and I enjoyed it more. Like the jump scares and stuff were still scary, and I still like covered my face a lot of the movie. So I didn't see many parts. Like I would cover my face and I'd be like, wait, what just happened? I would ask him because I was covering my face.
So wait, what did he do?
But I liked the twist. I didn't know that was going to happen because I think because of the movies that he's done in the past or the movies that he's been on, I thought that it was going to be like a supernatural movie, but because it wasn't, I thought that was more interesting of a movie than anything else.
Well, yeah, we're going to get more into that later. But for me, we all know that M. Night did this movie, so I was hoping it would do well. I liked the trailer. I liked the idea. When the grandfather says, it's probably best you just don't come out of your room after 9:30. And that just, for me, that kind of set like this standard or tone or level of expectation for me. And I would say it didn't really reach that, but it didn't really disappoint me either, especially because the trailer plays on it like it's a supernatural thing. And I'm still expecting it because of the execution, like Paranormal Activity and all that stuff. So I'm still, and it's from the producers also. I'm expecting.
That explains it.
It kind of, and it makes me feel like it's the same thing, and they got me because of that. And then when I find out it's not, supernatural thing, that the crazies that their grandparents actually counseled heard the stories of the grandkids coming, and they wanted a second chance because the grandmother, killed her kids by throwing them in the suitcase in the lake or whatever, and they killed them and take over their life. I was just like, wow, why did I see it coming?
That's some dark ass shit, dude. Like, well, you see, we didn't do too well with our kids. They got locked in a trunk, and we accidentally threw them in the lake. So we're gonna kill these two people and have a second go with their kids. Maybe we can make this one work.
Yeah, he's like, I promised her grandma's gonna be a good week, and it was. She was so happy.
I honestly think that is the perfect way to talk about the one thing that I wanted to talk about is that I was so happy that they didn't go that supernatural route.
Yes.
There was a moment when the little girl is interviewing the grandmother because she's a modern day filmmaker. Whatever.
She had good equipment though. I'm jealous.
We were saying that. It was Nate. Nate was watching the movie with us. No, it wasn't Nate. It was Kendall. It was Kendall. And Kendall was like, "Damn, that girl's got better cameras than Movie Lingo does."
She does. She's got awesome equipment. Go ahead. Your point.
But there was a moment when she was interviewing the grandmother when they started talking about like returning to Serentia,
the
planet that they were from, like something like that. Like, I don't know. And at that point, I started getting angry because I was like, okay, that's what this is gonna be. They're aliens.
I was getting a little frustrated too. Like, I hope that's not.
I was like, cool, they're aliens. And like, but then I guess that never happened. Like, it never happened, and they were just like. Finally, the girl goes down to the basement and she finds that they just like escaped from like an asylum and they're insane. And they just killed people. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
And finally, I was like, okay, that's better. But they were just about to go into that supernatural alien territory, and I was a little bit hesitant. I started getting worried. I was like, no, please don't do this. You're doing well. Like, this is you're kind of like doing a little bit better than Avatar here. Like, maybe you might be able to flush that out of your system if you put out this good movie.
Right.
But
I don't know if I'll ever forgive him for that.
Being a huge fan of the series, I can't ever forgive him for that mistake.
But that's another good point. Listen, you have the list, or we were talking earlier about M. Night's movies. I think it was the last 5 we talked about. Do you remember what they were? Mm-hmm. What are they? Which one? The last 5 that he actually like directed. Because I know you said he didn't direct The Devil. He wrote it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wrote the...
Well, there's only 5 movies on the list.
Yeah. So do you want the ones he directed?
Give me the last 5 period, and then that he's involved with, and then we'll...
It was this one, and then he had The Devil, which came after it, or before it.
Right.
And then it was After Earth, the one with Will Smith and his son.
After Earth.
Then it was Last Airbender. And then it was...
The Happening.
The Happening. The Happening wasn't before Last Airbender?
The Happening was before Last Airbender.
Oh, before,
so
yeah.
So the Happening, then Last Airbender.
Yeah, I was going
Happening,
like, newest to oldest.
in chronological order, Happening, Airbender, After Earth, Devil, Visit.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll let the internet.
Yeah, you guys will
The
let us
only one
know.
out of those that he didn't direct
Vibranium.
was The Devil, but he wrote all of those.
He wrote all of those, and so for me, I haven't really been pleased. I could go back on the next segment. We'll talk about the things that I did love from him, but I haven't been pleased. I didn't like The Happening.
The Happening.
Did you guys see
Mark
After
Wahlberg.
Earth?
I saw After Earth, and I felt like
I saw After Earth.
I felt like the trailer gave you everything. There was nothing much more to it, so that disappointed me.
Wasn't
all of
is
the great
After
moments.
Earth what caused Jaden Smith to become a douche on like social media?
No, he was headed that way already.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with his
I feel like
God
this was just
complex.
I feel like he was like, Dad, I really want to be in a movie. And then he was like, okay, we'll do a father-son movie.
But you know it's not his first movie, right?
No, yeah, I know.
Can you imagine? I wish
Okay, so as we mentioned before, the last 5 movies weren't really a fan of. After Earth, I felt like the trailer gave you all of the key moments. You already knew the story was, and so when I watched the movie, that's a big thing for me. Even though I get why you don't like to watch trailers of a movie you're anticipating, because sometimes they have to give you so much to pull you in, they end up giving you everything.
I've been so disappointed. Like, social media has shown me, like, not even, I still haven't seen any of the trailers, but social media has shown me images and like information of Star Wars, like that are tiny tidbits and that have like almost ruined it for me. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. Does watching trailers does that do it for you?
Yes, but I'll be like 100% honest. I have a super bad memory, so by the time that I go
Yeah.
see the movie, I've completely forgot anything
When you
that
see
was
the
in the
scene, you're
trailer.
like, oh yeah.
And like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I saw that in the trailer, but sometimes I'm like, wow, and everyone's like, that was in the trailer. I was like, no, it wasn't. This is so cool.
Well, this one did a good job with the trailer. I think one thing, and I'm gonna go back a little further into his career with M. Night. I think this is a big success for him. One thing that he was known for with his earlier films was the twist, and it started to be an expectation. And then when he Lady in the Water didn't, the twist wasn't
That was after
epic
The
enough.
Howling, or before
That was
The
definitely
Howling.
before. Yeah, I'm going further back now, but I think this is like when he started to his decline. Lady in the Water didn't sit well with everybody. Have you seen it?
No.
No,
Yeah.
it's a scary movie.
It's not a scary movie.
Okay.
It's you know, because if you watch his earlier films, like what I'm gonna say, this one is more like The Village. Have you ever seen The Village?
No.
You should definitely watch The Village. The Village has the same premise. There's these people that live in this village, and you think that it's like a period piece. They got like bare essentials, and they talk about these creatures that come out at night that keep, you know, so they all have to be indoors at a certain time. So this felt the same way, and
Is it just the villagers that are insane?
they're not insane, actually. What it is that, if you want me to go ahead and spoil it for you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. What it is basically the parents don't want their kids to be poisoned by the outside world, our world today with technology and all that stuff. So they have them like secluded in these woods, and the adults run around in these like costumes at night, but you can't see because it's so dark. They don't have light. They use fire, and they make you feel like you can be killed if you're out late. And you have to stay here, and you got to follow these rules, and you grow up a certain way, and they think they're keeping their kids.
Jesus Christ!
But is there like a kid that like is like, I'm rebelling against this? And, like,
Well, I can't
guess-
remember exactly if it
Yeah,
was
when he
a
busts out his
rebellion.
iPhone and starts playing Angry Birds,
But-
the parents start getting a little pissed at him.
When one of them end up accidentally getting outside of the wall, you realize when like a car drives by, like this is not a period piece. This is like they're in today, and that was the twist. Like it's nothing.
This
no
takes
big
place in
creature.
modern society.
Right. There's
It's
no
just-
big creature. There's no. It's not a period piece. It's happening like right now.
Wow.
And they're keeping them isolated with these beliefs so they can make sure that they stay
Damn,
the
I
way
wanna
they
watch
want.
that now.
Yeah, it's
too.
good, and so knowing that, and I watched this, it took me right to that because everything about this said supernatural. The way the
Yeah.
grandmother
Yeah.
was under the house, the way she
Yeah.
was hopping out,
Galloping?
that was creepy.
Like a goddamn squirrel.
like something was like a demon or something.
Demon squirrel.
That was one of my favorite scenes because. I didn't know if she was just gonna like disappear, and then they'd be like, "What the hell is that?" But she actually chased them around, and then she was joking, "I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you."
She just got up and walked away,
Yeah, got
with
up.
a little butt cheek hanging out.
Yeah, just like walked away, and I was like,
It was so weird.
but it felt like it was still gonna be supernatural.
Yeah. The whole time I was like waiting for it to be like.
I was waiting for her to spit a demon out.
That's
Yeah.
She kept vomiting and crawling on the floor. I was like, okay. And she did the
Yeah.
Grudge.
I felt like on
The-
the, I
Yeah,
felt like
so
on the
the-
last night.
The hair, yeah.
What she-
On the last night, she was gonna just like have like an exorcism.
And then
this whole thing was gonna happen.
and then that one, I think the best jump scare for me, in my opinion, was so the kids decide to set up a camera at night.
Yes.
They finally like the boy, like OG two-tone Loke stylist, whatever. He's
Yeah.
got some weird rap. He's like a youth white kid who's like really trying to rap.
With
Trying.
really bad lisp.
And at the end of every rap, he says, yeah, he has a lisp. At the end of every rap, he just says, ho. And like, whatever. But, so he wants to put a camera out at night to watch what they're doing. And the sister is, first of all, against it in the beginning of the week. Towards the end of the week, they put the camera out. And they go to sleep. And then it turns to just that camera. And then you hear noises, and you see the grandmother making a dinner table in the middle of the night in like a nightgown, walking all creepily, and then she walks away and there's nothing, and then all of a sudden she just pops out from like the ground and she's like, bah! And she like
You
grabs
actually hear
the
her
camera.
crawling, but
Yeah.
you don't see
Yeah.
her. You hear the crawl.
Yeah, and then she grabs the camera and takes it with her and and grabs a knife, and then the scariest part of it is that she leaves the camera on the ground in front of the children's room.
Yeah.
And they find it the next morning and watch all of that, and that's absolutely.
She went to the door and tried to actually get in there with the knife.
Yeah.
She tried to get into the door with a giant kitchen knife, and she couldn't.
Right.
So she just then left the camera on the floor and walked away.
I think she put it back.
No, she left it on the floor.
No, she put it back.
I don't remember enough. I can't break this.
She actually grabbed it and put it back. It was weird. And then they washed it the next day.
Did she?
She did, yeah.
Huh.
I hate to be...
When that scene happened...
I was thinking that she was going to leave it there and it would be more creepy if they walked out and found it there.
Yeah.
But she actually... They cut to her and they showed her putting it back and I was like, oh.
Oh, I must have missed that.
When that scene happened, I was like, oh, this is like Paranormal Activity, how like nothing happens until like 3:14 a.m.
Yeah, because it kept happening like 10:30, 10:40 at night.
Yeah, like, you know, like nothing happens, and like how they're saying like after 9:30 because that's when like they start being
demons
like
get out.
Yeah, and then so like when she picked up the knife and she was walking around the house, I was like, okay, she's like possessed now, like
she's gonna kill
someone. This is
someone.
where the demon is, like they're gonna try to kill the kids, like whatever. And then it was so weird because like everything they were doing, it like made sense that they were just like insane.
Yes.
And you didn't catch it because you just thought it was going to be supernatural. So when you finally find out that they're just insane people, you're like, oh my god, this makes so much sense.
So yeah, let's talk
That was
about
me.
the list of things that they were doing. That now you think back, it makes sense. Like number one,
Like him shitting his pants, that makes perfect sense.
yeah, he's off.
I'm in Shane and Shane. I'm in Shane and I sit in my pants all the time.
The just messing up the camera on the laptop, all of anything that could get a picture of them.
Yeah, exactly.
They wanted it blocked so
Yeah.
the mom wouldn't be able to say
Yeah.
that's not your grandparents.
And then
I thought that was pretty cool.
how he was like, oh, he's following me. How he was paranoid.
Paranoid because
Yeah.
of what they were
I
doing.
was like, at first I was like, that doesn't make sense. I was like, if you're possessed, like, why are you concerned about that? You know what I mean? And his like unbelievable strength, that makes perfect sense. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many things that I was like, of the strength, I was like,
I mean,
okay,
to be fair though, that was one scene that kind of bugged me because like the grandfather like pushed that guy down, and then the kid was like,
Like a wrestler.
he's so strong, he's like a wrestler. That dude literally was not
Yeah.
putting that much force
No,
into
he was
anything.
like,
the dude
what
was
do
like,
you-
what's happening?
He's like, no,
What
stop!
was-
Like,
yeah.
whoa, don't hit me! Like,
Yeah.
he didn't even get hit. He just got pushed to the ground. Like, with barely any force, if the right circumstance, I could push you over.
Yeah,
It doesn't make me
especially-
strong.
Especially from
Yeah.
backing away.
If
Like,
you're
what's the
backing away like
problem?
this, like all I have to do is.
Yeah.
But the kid was like, he's like a wrestler. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a broken ass wrestler right there.
What was another moment that was? It
Well,
made
the
sense
fact-
later.
The fact that the people that worked at the hospital or were patients at the hospital,
We're
like,
looking for them.
we're looking for like, oh, we haven't seen them in a while. Like, I was just like, oh, they weren't possessed, now they are possessed.
Yeah.
The old man kept dressing up for a costume party that he. Like basically,
Yeah.
he had almost a small form of Alzheimer's. There were a couple scenes in the movie where he would be getting dressed up, and he's like, "I've got to go to the costume party." And then finally, like someone would say something, or he would snap. He's like, "Wait a minute, that's not now." And like he like undresses.
Yeah.
Like that's
it was like
Just
they was
crazy.
like both of them had like dementia.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, well that might not be because they could just be really old, like.
And they explained her weird behavior with the. I meant to look it up. and I'm not-
Sundowning?
Sundowning.
Yeah.
I meant to look it up to see
I didn't actually.
if
look
it,
it up.
I feel horrible that I didn't. That
I
if it's a
know.
legitimate,
I
disease or whatever, or diagnosis. But even
Yeah.
if it's not, they explained it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I thought that was really cool. So then
Yeah.
you realize that yes, definitely
Yeah.
not supernatural. There's an answer for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we finally realized that it is just like, oh, these aren't your grandparents, like they're just insane people, I was like, how did I not pick up on this? Like, because
because of the way movies are nowadays, we wanted
just
to believe.
And I'm
it
sure
is
that's exactly
supernatural.
what he
And that's
planned
how they
on.
got us.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think that was
like,
phenomenal.
wow, why did I not realize this at all?
So yeah, the more we talk about this movie, the more
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I think that they definitely got us with what we've been.
They played on everything that we expected this bad movie. We expected this to be a bad movie, and that's exactly what they like intended. And
Yeah.
then they just kind of basically they led us to like the area of bad movies, and then came around from a
Yeah.
different direction and just fucking
Just
like
kidding.
yeah,
Surprise,
but
motherfucker!
yeah.
I'm sorry. So, you had a good point that you wanted to bring
Yeah.
up.
So, first off, let's start off by saying that the boy has a germ thing. He's very upset with germs. Like there's a scene in the movie where he didn't get to wash his hands. There were no tissues, and he feels like there's germs on him. He's a very germophobic kid, Well, basically, these two kids find out that those aren't their grandparents, and they still have one more night to spend with them. And the grandmother and grandfather want to play Yahtzee, and they're basically unraveling. Like, I believe at that point the grandparents also knew that the kids knew that they weren't.
Because they kept asking every day, is everything all right?
Yeah.
Is everything all right?
They kept getting, and they got like sloppier because like literally the kid opened the door and then the lady was hanging from the tree.
Yeah,
like, they weren't trying to hide anything anymore. They just opened and then the door.
One of the people like came from the psychiatric hospital to check on them, and they just killed her and hung her from a tree in the middle of the yard and made no effort to hide it. But like because the kids were inside, like they never saw anything. So basically, this last night comes and everything just kind of falls apart, and essentially, like they try to escape and they can't, and then the grandparents, quote, they start coming down on these kids, and the grandfather shits his pants, takes it off, and is rubbing it against the child's face.
Who freezes
in terror because of the germs that are involved. He can't even move.
It got shit in his face.
And then the daughter is locked in a room upstairs with no lights with the grandmother, who's walking around on the floor and trying to grab at her from under the bed. And these two children have to murder these old people to get away with their lives. The girl gets slashed. I think, did the old woman smash her into the mirror?
Yeah, she pushed her into the mirror.
Yeah, and the camera like broke the mirror.
She grabbed the piece.
So the girl gets pushed into the mirror by the grandmother, who at one point it looks like is trying to eat her.
Yeah.
You guys saw that, right?
It was like on top of her.
Yeah. The girl has to take the glass shards from the mirror and brutally stab the grandmother to get her off of her. And then the girl goes downstairs by breaking the door handle off with the camera, which I feel like the camera would have broke, but...
I feel that way too, but
anyway.
I was willing to work with it at this point.
And she has to go downstairs and rescue her brother, who's being just harassed by this old man. And she gets beat. Like, he hits her, she falls on the ground, and that kid snapped. He runs into the old man, shoves him into the counter, and he falls on the floor, and his head lands by the refrigerator, and the boy opens up the fridge and is repeatedly slamming the old man's head in the fridge while he's screaming like, "Is there any other old bastards who want to fuck with me tonight?" And I was like, oh my god, this is happening. Like, this is incredible.
Yeah, in that moment it was like...
They just snapped. Like, they had been essentially psychologically tortured for a week, and these kids weren't having it anymore. And that kid, that boy, like, if you imagine going through what that old man did to him, like...
I screamed. I didn't scream through the whole movie. When he put that shitty diaper in his face, like, first he unfolded in his face, then I was like, I screamed as he put it on him.
I cringed. I think I even made sounds out loud. I was like, oh my god, no.
I yelled out.
I covered my face for the whole
For the
scene,
shit?
I couldn't.
And like, let me.
Any of
I
it.
also want to rephrase this and say that you don't see the boy's face or any of the shit on his face like that. They do it very well to where it's not grotesque.
But you know what's happening.
But his back is turned to the camera, and you see the old man with the diaper, and you know what's happening, and you see him like trembling. Like, that was a really good scene. It was horrible to watch, but it was because it was so good to watch.
Yeah, and the boy was that, you know, I was trying to figure out earlier when he told that story about how he froze on the football field and he thought that's why his dad left. That was happening to him again in a key moment where everything was at work.
I didn't.
The things he was screaming
was like a combination
like the
of both.
Plays of
Yeah, he wanted the old people. He wanted to save the game, and it was like a combination of both. It was like,
wow,
he just evolved. And I thought that was pretty awesome.
I liked in this movie that they played off of so many mental illnesses.
Yeah.
He essentially went Super Saiyan. No big deal, but like he did.
He did. Oh man, so this, you just can't get over that. What?
And then, at the end of the movie, there's a small tidbit of the video that they show where the kid is rapping about how he got street cred because he had to kill these crazy old folks.
And at the end of the rap, he says, shit don't taste like chicken. And
that shit don't taste like chicken.
Yeah.
Is the last line that he's...
Then he's like, Shania Twain. Because he used pop stars to replace curse words.
Yeah. That was fantastic.
I was mad at first.
I hated that kid when we first started
when
watching the movie.
When I first started watching it,
I
yeah.
hated
then
the girl the entire time.
Kendall and I were talking about it, and Kendall was like, "Dude, this kid is growing on me." 'Cause
Yeah.
he was very modern. Like his sister would come up to him and be like, "No, this like you have to do it like this," and he just goes, "Swerve." and when I heard that, I was like, "Oh God, he's one of these kids." But like, he grew on me. He
was
really
like,
did grow on me.
You know, why did they tell us not to go to the basement? He's like throwing shade.
And she was like, English, please.
Oh my God. Alyssa actually picked up on that girl is Australian.
Oh, you heard it?
She heard it
for
in the
sure.
accent.
I can
Wow.
totally hear it.
Nice.
That's what happens when you're a fan of One Direction.
They're British. One Direction were mentioned in the movie.
Yes,
Oh yeah, they
exactly.
mentioned One Direction in the movie.
Like the first thing the little kid says when they show the camera for the grandparents, he's like, they don't know who One Direction
And
is.
oh yeah, and Grandma was definitely standing there like, what are we doing?
Like yeah, that's why he grew on me because like he had these comments in the movie where he was like, okay, he's just like a modern white kid trying to be thug, but then he would say things like, she interviewed him and she was like, so how do you feel about meeting your grandparents? And he was like, I mean, I guess it could be worse. They don't know who One Direction is, so that's good. And I was like, all right, you're good, kid. You're
Yeah,
good.
he definitely grew on me because in the beginning I was not feeling it. You know, one thing that was funny that I was hoping would continue. Actually, no, it only happened twice. When they were on the train and the conductor was like, "Oh, you know, I used to be an actor in my
Did you
day."
notice that
Yeah.
they had the same lines too?
The guy who came in
The guy who came into the train and the guy who was at the house, they said the exact same thing.
Same thing.
Cody thought he was like, wait, is this actually happening?
I was like, is something happening? Like,
and so I was hoping that the third person would do the same thing. Then I'd be like, okay, this isn't real. This is like a dream or something.
yeah, I was like, what?
But it was funny though.
Yeah.
What was that? I don't know how to
weird.
define that. Like,
I don't
you
even
know,
know-
I used to be an actor too. Two people who are completely unrelated said the exact same lines like in the movie.
I don't know. I guess maybe he was trying to. I don't know.
I think M. Night was throwing some shade at us.
Oh snap!
I don't know what they were trying to mean. Like maybe there was like a hidden message behind it,
Actor
and we were
back in my
supposed to pick
day.
up on it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll interview him on Movie Lingo, find out his inside joke. That'd be awesome. So this movie is definitely worth the watch. The more we talk about it, the more we like it. You should definitely go see it. I also recommend if you have seen it and you come across somebody that hasn't seen it, go watch it with them so then you can see all the things and how much more it makes sense the second time
Yeah,
around.
I
Because
almost
I'm
wanna
definitely
see
gonna
it
do that.
again now.
Yeah, because then you're just gonna be laughing. So it's like, wow, it's like the setup. I really appreciate the writing on this one. So I think we should just go ahead and rate it. Cody, what would you like to rate this movie and why?
So we were just talking about this, and I was gonna give it a 7 because I felt like that was a good score for it. And then I stopped and I waited and I thought about it, and I'm like, no. The more I talk about this movie, the more I liked it. I can't give it a 7. I'm gonna have to give it an 8. The characters, you know, the girl was a little annoying at times with her talk, but overall, like, I thought this was gonna be something else, and it was different entirely. So M. Night predicted that, and that was awesome. The twist threw me off at the end. And then, like, just the way that these grandparents were insane, the way that the movie was set up, the timing from Monday to Friday, like showing that Wednesday morning type of thing. Like, this was just, it was really good. Like, I liked it. So I think I'm going to have to give it an 8.
8. Awesome. And Alyssa?
I'm giving it a 7 out of 10, which doesn't mean that I didn't like it. I really did like it.
7's still good.
And I think this is, from this one, I think this is the first scary movie that I've actually really enjoyed watching, because I don't really like watching them, because I just get scared the entire time. It like loses its appeal, but I think because of the concept behind this one, I liked it a lot more, and so that's why I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Awesome. Yes, I'm going to give it an 8. Like we said before, the more I talk about it, the more I like it. I thought that it was very clever for them to take advantage of the
Expectations of the audience.
You know, the execution with the camera and the producer Paranormal Activity. You're expecting, because that's what's been popping lately over the past few years, and I'm just looking for it, and they got me, and I love that. It took advantage of that and gave us.
I bet M. Night was just like sitting there, and he's like, you know, these people are expecting Paranormal Activity, so this shit's gonna freak them out.
It is, and it worked.
They did a really good job.
Very good job, very good job. And I also recommend to watch The Village.
Yeah, I
if you
want
haven't
to see
seen
that now after you brought that up.
It's good because you didn't see it coming. I mean, well, now you guys do, so I don't know how much.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Eddie. So 7.6.
7.6 movie lingo rating. I think IMDb has it at 7.
Guys,
Yeah. So
we can round that up to an 8.
Did you go to school?
No, I'm serious.
We could round that up to an 8, but we haven't done that before, so
No,
we might as well just keep it at 7.6.
And Kendall's not here, so we shouldn't have an argument there. So.
I love you, Kendall.
Yes, love all you movie lingo people that aren't here right now.
This was a fun movie. Go watch it. Seriously.
Yes, watch it. And if you've seen it already, take somebody who hasn't seen it, watch all the tidbits.
But don't be that person who, like, if you go and watch a movie with a friend and
Don't
you've seen
react
it,
like 5 minutes before.
When you're like, oh my god, this
This
part's good. Like, don't do that.
I hate those people.
I do too. And I have done that before.
I've done it too.
And someone told me about it, and ever since then I stopped doing it because I realized how obnoxious that is.
That's funny. So before we part, I do want to say, give a few shout outs. You know, we have a lot of viewers that have been consistent with us, and we definitely appreciate it.
Hi, Carlos.
Carlos, yes. Carlos Sanchez. Ali, you've actually been watching. We appreciate you. And JS1 Supplier from bbcradio.com. I know you're watching. We greatly appreciate you.
Carlos, you're fired.
Yeah, but he's still, as long as he gets on next week's movie lingo with the Maze Runner, he'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll definitely be having a special guest appearance next week
for the Maze Runner. Yes, we're gonna do that.
We're gonna bring him in on here, and if if you guys are consistent viewers in the area, and you want to meet us up, come over, watch us film, like, please do.
Tell them where we are.
Hey, segue that I just ruined. We're filming at Past, Present, Future in Davie, Florida. It is a comic book store galore. They've got the collectibles, they've got comic books, trade paperbacks, Legos, Gundams,
all the good stuff.
Statues, everything you could possibly need. And unlike a lot of comic book stores, they're organized. Like their system is very easy to understand and very easy to find something. It's not too hard to figure out like some other places. So that's one of my favorite parts about it. I'm throwing shade. So come by and see us. Message us on the videos. Just let us know what you're doing. Maybe if you guys get into movie lingo, we've got some fans out there. You guys want to watch the movies with us?
We can probably make that happen.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. So hit us up.
Just let us know. We're always looking to meet some of you guys watching out there.
Also, any of you gamers out there, we've now expanded. We have Game Lingo up and running, the YouTube channel. Right now it's just strictly a YouTube channel, but the website...
hit me with an L.
Will be coming.
Eddie, hit me with an L under this M. Hit me with an L under this M.
For them or from me?
For them.
For them.
Yeah.
All right. So Game Lingo is up and running. We already got a few videos up. We have from all platforms, PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4. Eventually we'll be adding the Wii U stuff in there.
And eventually over time, hopefully Nate and I hope to get our Let's Play going on Game Lingo too. We started a while ago. Financial reasons had to push it back, but now that this Game Lingo is up and running, him and I are going to start recording some videos hopefully.
Funny commentary, watch the playthroughs, see the modded games, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I believe one of the modded games is it's Left 4 Dead by Japanese anime girls fighting Teletubbies.
Fighting zombie Teletubbies.
Yeah.
And the anime girls are in bikinis.
How awesome is that?
It is awesome. I'll send you that link later. All right, so thank you guys for joining us for another movie lingo discussion. I'm Eddie Lingo.
I'm Cody Flutie.
I'm Melissa Jensen.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.
It's just the end of your trip.
I'm sad it's all over. I'm gonna get you.
Papa!
Let's make it a perfect night.
What is that?
Mom, you need to come right now.
Would you mind getting inside the oven to clean it?